We're just going to go off to the races, right? No? Carlito?
Off to the races.
Another podcast, but this time there is not really a guest. We have
family.
We have the Patron here.
The Patron. I love it.
We have Mark from Skyluxe Roofing here. We wanted to chat with you, Mark, again. Not so much about roofing, but we wanted to know more about Skyluxe and where you're taking the business. And we also obviously want to talk about the construction life.
Yeah, we also want to hear you sing.
I can't sing.
Can he sing?
Can you hum?
Can you hum?
You know what?
You're going to have to sing if they don't sing.
You know what? For Mark, anything.
Totally
if
fine.
he doesn't want to sing, he doesn't have to sing.
No song this
that
week.
That doesn't mean anyone else, though.
It'd be...
Because I like that.
All right, so Mark, let's reintroduce Skyluxe. It's been about a year and a half, I guess, since we last spoke to you about Skyluxe, and you guys have fucking grown.
Wait a second. I thought we talk about Skyluxe every time we're here.
No, we mentioned Skyluxe, but we don't talk about Skyluxe. But you guys have grown, man.
That's the plan.
How many employees now?
20.
Wow, that's impressive, dude.
It's hard. It's hard to get the guys here, right? It's hard to keep the guys.
I mean, my guys are good. I mean, I haven't really had that issue. It's hard to get new guys, yeah, but my guys are good.
What's the biggest deal with the new guys? What is it? That just like it's hard work.
2 weeks ago, he came in for an interview.
Eddie?
Eddie.
His name wasn't Eddie.
Okay, I'll tell you guys a story.
All right,
I like this.
I had one guy come in. This is the millennial generation. I'm a millennial, but he came in for an interview. His girlfriend drove him to the interview. I guess he doesn't have a car. You know,
He's
I
a
interviewed
chauffeur,
him.
though.
Yeah, he is a chauffeur. And then
he's big.
he came in for an interview. He said he wanted to give it a shot. He says he's worked demolition, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, give it a shot. But you know what? Well, you got to get your safety training, and I'm not going to pay for it because I had a feeling that it wasn't going to work. I said, look, if you stay with me for 6 months, I'll reimburse you for the safety training.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
So I figured that's fair because,
You had the feeling.
yeah, I had the feeling it wasn't going to work out.
He had the Eddie
his
feeling.
girlfriend-
You've been running a successful business for so long. You know who's going to
Well,
work out and who's
the
not.
the first question I ask guys, like to see if they're serious about work, is like, how long you been without work? And when somebody tells me anything more than a week, forget it. But I'll still give them a shot. But in my head, I'm like, okay, because it's not that hard to go out and get a job.
And
in
get a
construction.
job.
It's
Yeah.
not hard. You can literally knock on anybody's door and they'll give you a shot. As long as you work hard, you clean up garbage, you know, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
He came. We did the safety course with us. 2 hours in, he quit.
2
Because
hours
he didn't
into
pass?
the safety course?
No, he did the safety course.
Okay.
The next day he came in and
Started the day.
was just a helper, like, you know, bringing tools. He says he couldn't handle it.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Wow.
Was that the fastest? Like the shortest?
No, I've had one guy for like 30 minutes before.
30 minutes.
You know, you should have a plaque up on the wall for the fastest in and outs.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
yeah. I had one guy, I literally had to like, he was a little bit overweight and he literally was acting like he was going to have a heart attack on the roof. Because he couldn't
Not a
handle
good
He
sign.
couldn't handle picking up the garbage. No, but he was just exaggerating.
Would have been easy to get him down.
Yeah.
You know what? At least he didn't waste any more of your time.
But yeah, that's what we
30
deal
minutes.
with, right?
That's what you guys deal with all the time.
Even for interviews, I realize now, if I set up 3 interviews, none of them show.
What?
None.
It's not just me. It's
You're
everybody.
speaking on the phone. You
Speak on the phone. You book an interview. Hey, I got an interview at noon tomorrow. Come meet me. They don't show up. So now it's like I'll book 10 interviews at the same time and just assume 2 are going to show. So that's literally what I do now.
10.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
2.
Yeah, and I get 2 of them that actually show up.
What?
You're a 5-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly, nobody shows up for interviews anymore. I don't know what's going on, but
You think it's because of the trade, or you think
Or
it's just
age group.
about the industry,
I don't
or
know.
the age group?
I have no idea what it is, to be honest.
What is the age that this
But-
is happening in?
They're all millennials. They're mostly.
Yeah, I guess like
mostly
20 to 25.
It's okay
let's
because
say.
you're a millennial, so you can say it.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
I
we're
can't.
not allowed
it's
to
bad
say
if I
it.
say it.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Not a lot of people want to. They don't want to work hard anyway to begin with, right? So construction's always that stereotype. It's the last one.
Yeah.
It's the last resort.
Right.
But I mean, Carlito and myself know that you are actually running a pretty serious and shit, man. Like construction here for working for Skyluxe is actually you should be looking to work for Skyluxe. Because you know the horror stories out
They're
there.
missing out, man.
Yeah,
Anybody
you treat
doesn't-
your guys. I saw the other day you had the poster and you have medical benefits now.
Yeah, I got the medical benefits.
That's amazing.
I know, man. Like that's and you're self-owner, like it's your own business. You're not union. You're not all this other crap.
Not union.
He's got that. He's given that, and he's got this great break room.
Well, he's giving back to the guys.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I take them out every couple months.
Yeah.
For dinners and stuff.
Only the good ones or all of them?
All of them.
All of them, unfortunately.
So
But
what makes a successful company for you?
You've been at it how long now?
3 years in January.
3 years. Coming
Well,
up on
yeah,
3-year
January.
anniversary.
What?
3 years.
You've only been in business 3 years?
His running his own business, Skyluxe.
Yeah.
Wow,
I did my
dude.
first job in like April 2017.
You have taken it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
Because
So
you
what-
saw all the shit that was out there.
Yeah, I know. I kind of had a plan from day one. Like,
you must
I
have worked
believe
for-
that, you know, if you don't believe in yourself, it's not going to happen. I believed in it since day one. So for me, it's not a surprise.
And your biggest goal was just getting guys that would believe in the same that you guys are.
Yeah, I
that
mean, when
you're-
they feel the guys see my passion and stuff, and they like, you know, I don't have a partner. I don't have a business partner, so my partners are my guys. So I treat
Beautiful.
them. They're
Well
like they're
said.
my partners. They get bonuses. Like in Christmas time, they get whatever my partner would have got. I split it
Wow.
between. Like that's the way I am.
I
Like
guess I know where I'm going to apply.
that's the way I am.
Are you
So-
going to show up?
But like,
No.
but at the same time, this is the reason why I have this on the wall. Like,
So we're looking at a whiteboard here, and you got three big crews.
there's budgets on jobs. If the guys screw up, it's there. Like one guy torched a window, it cost it $18.50. So he would have made on that $25,000 job. The budget's $25,000. He beat it, let's say, by 22. He would have made the budget was beat by $3,000. He would have made $1,500, half of that. But he torched a window on the job before. So like that's why we keep track. Of
I love it. So you're
So he's not allowed near windows.
He's not allowed near window.
no, but I love that you're setting up a business here where you're actually making the employees part of your business. So
Well, that's the only way they're going to be motivated, in my opinion. They like I'm transparent with it.
Is that the way you were taught?
So where did
don't know-
Mark?
I
Where
don't
did
know
you
why-
get this from? Where did you get this mindset to do it this way to motivate the guys this way?
I feel like that's the only way
a collective,
collective, like they have to believe in what I believe in. They have to push for what,
because they'll have your back when you got to do a job.
yeah, like the company. I want them to feel like the company is everybody's, not just mine. Or else, why would they want to come to work every day?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
I
want the
don't- that's
guys to come in and just punch
That's
a
how you
clock.
keep them.
No,
You
I don't want that.
You-
Some
you-
people want that. It's funny. You talk to different business owners, and some guys they actually want that. I don't think that's the right approach. I don't know. That everybody's different, but I don't think that's the right approach.
Remember way back we had that, there was like a conversation we had at one time where there was a designer talked about how the trades are never allowed to talk to the clients. There's that line drawn.
That's right.
And we completely disagree with it. But that comment was reaffirmed on a recent post of mine, and I didn't respond back to it. I just left it alone. You're not like that. I'm not like that. You're not like that. That's stupid. I don't think
I want my trades to speak to the homeowners to a certain extent.
Yes.
There's certain rules that they have to follow, like let's not talk about prices or extras or take on any jobs without speaking
side
to me.
shit. That.
That's something that can confuse the job and put it over cost in my end or somebody else's, right?
Are you going through your crews? Are they like, because you're not on site all the time.
No.
That's the way it's supposed to be. You're running a business. You're here running the business. Your crews are actually running the work.
If you pay them well, if you base their performance on something, which is beating budgets and, you know, coming to work, building their crews, training guys, they get paid for their performance. And then it's no question why somebody's making more money than somebody else.
Everyone is on a level playing field, and you have the opportunity to perform even better.
If you
do a
want to do
job,
better or work a little bit harder,
you'll be benefited.
you'll be benefited.
Most guys are roofers. They cold or hot process, and that's basically what they do. You've kind of like gone a different direction. You're doing like special siding and really cool gutters, and like, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, you've perfected flat roof applications, right? Like you've done it, so then it's like the crew goes in, does a great job, everything's perfect, no leaks, clients are happy, move on. Now you're expanding the business to more than just roofs, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of metal, a lot of cladding, ACM, sheet metal.
How did that
custom
start? Where did that come
How
from?
did it start? I started roofing as a flat roofer, but I still did some cladding when I first started roofing. I did a little bit. I wasn't the best at it, but I learned it. And when I first opened my company, I had an opportunity to clad a container. It's actually on the wall. Clad a container with Core 10
Oh,
steel.
yeah.
Basically, the guy asked me, he's another contractor in Toronto, good guy. He asked me to clad the container in Core 10 steel. I'm like, I didn't even know what Core 10 steel was. I was like, yeah, I'll do it, no problem. Basically figured it out, did a beautiful job. And, you know, once you do something well and you post about it, people are going to want more. And it basically grew off that, I think. I think that was the first cladding job.
That's where it got started.
That's where it got started.
So what
and then, you know, I had guys come along that were better than me at metal. Like, I'm not a metal guy. Guys came along that were better than me in the metal.
But you
I had
don't
the
have
same-
to be.
I
You
had-
just have
I
to
don't
be a good
to
manager or a boss.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had guys come along that have a passion for metal and believe in what I'm doing, and they wanted to be a part of it. And I have good guys that work with me. That's just, you know, without the guys I have, you know, I'm nothing. The guys are great. And that's
So
why
who's the metal crew?
James
James is a metal crew. Okay, so what exactly, you said ACM, right? What is ACM?
aluminum composite material.
No, it's a live workshop, man.
Yeah,
There's,
I love
people
it.
come in and there's cops going
I'm
on there.
interested too.
Might have something to do with something that was brought to the site here.
Well, you know what's interesting? We have a mutual friend. So Todd Shapiro is a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
he was at my wedding, and you just finished his house, and you did an amazing job. I actually didn't even know that was his place when I was viewing your site.
That was the container.
No, that was his cottage.
That was his cottage.
We did his whole cottage in standing seam, and we did some soffit material and a wood grain metal.
Yeah, it looked beautiful, man.
I saw the pictures. It looked amazing. Have you seen it in person?
I haven't seen it in person, but I've been watching your work, and so there's like only a few people that I really enjoy seeing their work. The other people I just kind of like, it's kind of like
past
Tinder, right, left, right.
Aren't you married?
Yeah, I was using it as a reference. So like, I saw the work, and I actually didn't know it was his place, but it didn't even matter that it was his place. It was amazing that you're doing all this new technology. Like, so what do you put underneath it?
Underneath the metal?
Yeah.
It depends if you're talking about siding or roofs.
That metal, that's...
It depends.
Well, let's start with a roof. Let's do a roof, right? So is it any different than doing an asphalt roof?
I mean, every system, there's different specs. Like, there's every time you do a roof, there might be a different spec from a different architect. But normally, on a residential application, you're just putting high temperature blue skin, and then you're standing seam panels. The panels get fastened with clips. They lock together. They lock to the drip edge, and then you put on your flashings.
And that's how it's spec'd out by the architect.
Yeah, I mean,
Generally speaking.
there's so many different types of standing seams. Like we could talk about so many different kinds. The most common one is like the regular standing seam, 90 degree, you lock onto the panel and then you lock onto the drip edge.
And that's like a 4x8 or a 4x4 squares?
No, they come in 20-inch panels.
Okay.
Or custom, whatever size you want. You order them to length. Okay. So let's say you have a 30-foot run, you order the panels 30 feet, and each panel, 20-inch panels, they lock onto each other until you get to the end.
So do you have designers calling you?
No designers, architects.
Architects.
Yeah, we work with architects. They recommend us to their builders and stuff.
So you're not doing any proposals of like...
You're not hunting for the work. The work's coming for you.
I mean, I still hunt. Like, I still hunt. But yeah, most of the work comes towards
But
me.
I mean, a lot of the times that we've been coming here, because this is basically the unofficial Construction Life, home, there's a lot of fabricating going on in the background.
Yeah,
there.
those guys are always making ACM panels.
ACM panels.
Yeah, that's
so you're
different-
getting
that's
raw
different
material. You're getting raw material ACM.
Yeah, that's completely different
That's
stuff.
that's for siding and stuff like that. But back onto the roofing. Do you like it? Do you prefer it?
I like everything.
It looks cleaner, and it looks like, I don't know, what's the warranty of the roofs compared to other asphalt roofs?
Standing seam, they usually say it lasts 50 years.
50 years.
Yeah.
Price point wise, are we talking 2-3 times more than asphalt?
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times more, but you're getting 50 years. Good asphalt is 30 years, 35? Good.
20 to 30.
Are you doing cold and hot process?
We do everything.
Everything.
What do you mean hot, cold? You lost me there for a
There's
second.
different flat roofs. There's many different types of flat roofs.
Oh, so you're talking about asphalt flat. I'm
Yeah.
talking about asphalt shingle, pitched,
Okay.
because the metal is being used on pitched roofs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pitch roofs and walls.
And also walls and things like that. I just like that it lasts longer, it's cleaner. How's the coloring? Because I know that most clients or architects are speccing out darker tones. How are we dealing with that with UV? Are they really getting beaten up?
They probably fade over time, but the steel is good. They last.
It's going to last. So
What's
when
your
they-
preference?
The only issue with going with a darker color with a lot of these metal roofs, the metal, once it had some heat to it, it starts to oil can. Have you
Yeah.
heard of the term oil can?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
The reason, what we do,
I have now.
you never heard of it? So oil can is I can show you.
Let's explain it.
Oil can is when a thin gauge metal gets some UV rays, it'll start to ripple.
Okay.
And it basically looks like shit.
Wow.
So you
So-
can tell that it's a poorly manufactured metal,
There's thicker gauges of metal.
and they would always prefer.
We only install now 22 gauge,
That's it.
which is the thickest gauge you can install.
And what
Some
is it?
people install 26, 28.
They get as thin as that.
And that's aluminum still.
It's metal.
It's metal.
Yeah.
They're all aluminum.
Metal, not aluminum. It's different.
Okay, I'm confused. I'm getting lost because it's ACM, aluminum.
That's ACM. That's different than standing seam.
Wow, fuck, I'm confused, dude.
This is a big industry.
Okay.
So standing seam is that roof there. Like that's metal. It's not aluminum.
Okay, so that's metal. So that's the thicker gauge metal.
Yeah.
The ACM is used mostly for vertical applications.
ACM's for siding. That's aluminum.
Got it. But a roof is metal, and a thicker gauge metal is obviously better. But the majority of guys out there are using thinner gauge metal.
Majority of guys.
Then you get that oil can action.
Yeah.
Which you can see, and it looks like shit when the sun hits it.
100%.
And then all of a sudden you have a brand new roof, and it looks like shit.
Yeah.
Especially if you want it to last for 50 years.
Yeah.
How's snow and everything like that? Do you have to worry about sliding? And
You got to put snow guards on.
you totally got to put snow guards, right?
I'm checking out. Like, you know what? I've been here the whole time doing
You
these
didn't
podcasts.
realize. I know.
I've been so into the conversations. I didn't realize that you and Manny
There's a whole
have all
collage.
your jobs posted
Yeah,
everywhere.
really?
It's fantastic.
You never noticed that wall of like...
You know what? I was so into the conversation, I didn't even look. And then when he said, "Hey, look over here," I was like,
Wow, there's a wall over there.
So, do you believe in metal?
Yeah, I love it. It's gotta, the customer, has to justify the price. It's more, I wouldn't say it's for people that want the look. more
It's
than
not for an average home. It's
not for an
definitely for a custom home. And if you're already spending, I don't know, $1.5 million to $2 million,
if people know, most people, if they know it's their last home,
they'll
they'll
spend
spend
it.
the money. But if somebody's, if it's a younger couple or whatever, they're not going to spend.
So, what's the pros and cons to metal versus the shingles?
Pros, it obviously lasts longer, looks nicer.
Money would be the con.
Is it loud when it rains?
Yeah, some people complain about the noise.
You hear the tinging.
Yeah.
Do you ever put soundproofing underneath?
I mean, I've had customers ask me to do it. So, like some architects will spec you to put insulation on top of the wood sheathing, Z-bars. So Z-bars every 16
So you have
inches
this-
or 25
the buffer,
inches,
right?
and then insulation between the Z-bars, like strapping, and then you just fasten the panel to the Z-bars.
I wonder if those acoustical panels, like from MSL or something like that, those green 1-inch thick panels would work for that application. That's
Yeah,
strictly sound.
Probably, yeah.
And then you could drill right through it, put the metal right on top of it. It takes care of the sound.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
What are you focusing on right now? What's the change in the company?
I mean, I have a lot of metalwork coming up, so I'm just trying to sell more, roofs, sloped roofs. I got a lot of roofers now, so it's like we're hustling. I got a new estimator here. He's in training, and we're teaching him how to quote and to take some stuff off my head.
Is that the new guy?
Yeah.
Love it.
What about integrating skylights and all the other your terminations for venting and everything like that? It's easy to do with metalwork?
It's a little bit more difficult, but usually you'd plan it out in a way where you don't want to see too many vents going through a metal roof, so you do a ridge vent.
Got it. So you'll recommend that. So if they're already asking for a metal roof, then you're asking them to reroute the vents.
Yeah, usually.
But
that's
skylight wise, you can't reroute that. That's a must. But you could just just flashing,
you
right?
flash around it, yeah. You got to do a curb mount skylight when you're doing metal. roof.
You can't do any. Yeah, you can't do any other way.
You could do a deck mount, but I prefer curb mount.
So, you do skylights on flat roofs?
Yeah.
What's the trick to skylights? Because I'm always hearing that they're leaking, they're not high enough.
What
they're
skylights
too
are
low.
you hearing about? First of all, use Velux.
Felix is great. Artistic skylight's good too.
Now, what is
Artistics
that?
are good.
Oh,
Are they?
Artistic's good.
is that already set at a certain height?
Yeah, so basically when you have a skylight sitting on a flat roof, even on a sloped roof, you want it sitting above the sheathing a certain amount, because with snow and ice buildup, it's got to be higher. You'll always have, in the wintertime, you'll always have a layer of ice and water underneath the snow. So if it's a certain height up, you won't have issues with water getting in. If it's too low, you might.
So what's the minimum? Like I know generally you put a 2x6 of vertical, right?
Yeah, for a sloped roof, it's a 2x6.
Yeah.
For a flat roof, I usually say 8 inches.
We just had the new guy bring in his golf clubs.
Are those yours, Mark? Those are mine.
He's in.
Business is good. Business is good. Okay, so that's the metal roof, right? But now, so now let's get to ACM.
ACM.
So now, because I'm fascinated, and I've seen this in the trends when I've gone to all the trade shows, and the fucker across from here has yet to go to a trade show in the United States.
I have.
It's actually really disappointing, man.
What's wrong with you, man?
It's almost like John Holmes has never seen a porn. That makes no sense.
You know what? I just haven't had the time. Like I'm
You
so
gotta
busy.
go. But I'm going with this because the thing is, cladding is changing in the industry.
It totally is.
We are so used to, for like when we were younger, before you were born.
I don't want to see siding anymore.
No, it was
I'm
always
not
just
into
brick
it.
or siding. Those
Yeah.
are your two options.
Brick or siding.
Now
Or
you've
stucco.
got stucco.
Yeah.
But that became the cheap version of trying to do brick, right? Now it's changing. So now you've got all kinds of different type of siding.
lot.
You've got stucco. You've got all kinds of different bricks too. You got linear, thinner bricks. You've got porcelain panels. You're getting stone panels now, but now you're getting metal. And metal actually looks really good. And I've seen you guys clad some beaten up warehouse units, and it looks like $1 million place, right?
100%. Yeah.
So going with ACM, let's walk us through the ACM now.
The ACM basically comes in a raw material. It's a 4mm panel, has aluminum on the top, and then basically a composite material in the middle to keep it rigid. So you'll never experience oil canning with an ACM
It's
panel.
4
good
mil
to know.
thick, eh?
4 mil thick.
I mean,
Okay.
4 mil is like a
thick.
fat eighth of an inch, right?
What does it compare to in cost of stucco or brick
It's
or
most,
siding?
It's the most expensive.
It's the most expensive, eh?
Because
Yeah, it
of the
costs like-
fabrication of the material and then the installation of the material.
Yeah, the material's expensive. Then there's the fabrication and the installation.
But once again, are we living in the 50-year warranty kind of thing?
Yeah, oh yeah, lasts forever. This is what you see on all the dealerships, right?
It's true. So
There's some dealerships that are, old and it still looks amazing.
So when you guys install it, you
It's-
got to build the whole framework behind it?
No, we install directly to the sheathing. We just use clips.
So
You gotta
what is
let
the
it breathe.
sheathing that's proper?
Yeah, as long as the sheathing is straight, we have to make the ACM has to be straight. If your sheathing is not straight, it doesn't matter.
So you can put it
has
over-
to be straight. So we shim it.
Okay.
We'll shim out each panel basically to make it perfectly level.
So it can go over OSB, it can go over plywood,
Yep.
dent shield,
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
How about old siding? Could you go over top of that?
No, I would never do that.
You don't recommend that?
No.
Can it go over stucco and
Because you then, at that point, if you're going over old siding, you're adhering the new material to the old siding, and the
Yeah.
old siding can fail, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
yours
yeah,
fail.
I would never do that.
They would just rip it off and go from there.
what's the repair on it? Is it an easy repair for you?
To repair a
Like
ACM,
say somebody damages something,
it's a lot
drills
of,
through.
it's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Because they're all interlocked with each other.
It's actually scary ordering ACM. It's scary quoting ACM because the material's so expensive. If you screw up a little bit, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. It costs like $40 a square foot. 40.
It's $40 a square foot?
Yeah.
So you're more expensive than some high-end marbles.
Yeah, but you're never touching it again.
Never touch it again.
It's bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
Now,
What-
can you paint it again? You don't want to though.
No, you wouldn't
Yeah.
paint.
Because that's all factory baked, painted.
Yeah.
delivered.
I actually ordered from South Carolina, believe it or not.
Really?
I imported from South Carolina.
What's the company that you prefer using?
Alu coil?
Alocoil?
Alu coil, yeah.
What about fading with UV?
I don't think you have that issue with ACM. I mean, anything will fade from UV, but not dramatically.
It's not going to be the point where, oh my God, that used to be black last year, now it's gray. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Well, they say 17% UV damage every single year on paint. So I'm just trying to see what baked paint would be because I don't
Is
know
it
the
really
numbers in that.
17%?
Yeah,
on
you're
paint?
averaging between 13 and 17% loss of color with
Every
UV
year.
direct.
Can't be. It's got to be the first year because then all of a sudden you'll have a white panel in about 5 years.
Well, you don't notice the fading a lot of times.
Really?
That's why when we do color changes in painting, you never get an exact match.
Doesn't match. It
Yeah,
doesn't
you
match.
could have the same code, but you're like, oh wow, that doesn't look the same. It's because UV damage, right?
Okay, so Mark, drawings come in. You guys look at a lot of drawings, eh?
Yeah.
You probably look at more drawings than students do in school studying
For sure.
construction, man. These guys are constantly looking at drawings. Drawings come in, they spec it out, they show you. Obviously, they don't have all the answers on the drawings, right?
No. Never.
You got to figure out some things.
A lot, yeah.
So, or you got to call the architect or the
Yeah.
GC or the homeowner.
Very often, yeah.
Just if there's some issues, because there might be some intricate work going on, and you're like, how am I supposed to explain? How am I supposed to do that detail?
100%.
Once you get all those answers, that ACM is going into the back, and the guys start fabricating it.
Yeah, so basically I got to order the panels from South Carolina. The panels come 16 feet by 5. There's
Uber?
Uber.
No, it takes a little while, eh? How
be
long does
damaged.
it take?
Uber Eats. So yeah, I order the panels. They come. It takes a couple weeks to get here. Then we order extrusions.
Okay.
It's the same kind of idea as like window extrusions, glazing, whatever. But it's for ACM. We order that from a separate company.
Are those aluminum?
That's local. Yeah, that's aluminum. too.
Okay.
We order the extrusions, and basically we put together the panels here with the extrusion. We fabricate the panels to whatever size design the client wants, the architect wants. We fabricate them
So
here.
it's a metal workshop here now.
Yeah, it's a metal workshop for sure.
So you see yourself leaving flat roofing?
Never.
No.
expanding.
That's my love, man.
Because I've been watching a lot of your videos and you're doing a lot of this.
The flat roofing thing isn't as interesting, I think, to post on Instagram. Maybe that's why.
I still
It's
like
kind of
it.
repetitive, though.
It is. Yeah, but I
It's kind
still
of
like
repetitive.
it. Though.
So I don't post every flat roofing job we do. We do a lot of flat roofs.
If I was a homeowner and I wanted you to do a project for me, you would send me to your architect and then your architect would spec it to you. Is that
Yeah.
how it works?
Yeah.
If someone wanted to get a hold of you, what are they going to do?
Email me or call me.
And what's that?
My email is mark@skyluxeroofing.com.
Are we wrapping up? We're not wrapping up. I, don't understand why we're
I
wrapping
want to
up.
make sure this is covered.
At Skyluxe Roofing. No, yeah.
Because
Skyluxe Roofing, yeah.
I'm lucky because, I wasn't interested before through the friends and meeting and talking. I started following you and then I started having an appreciation for your company because
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to it before. And now I'm like, I really love the videos because you focus on, the material and your guys. It's never about you.
Yeah,
And-
nobody. If you could go through my whole Instagram, you might not see one photo.
Yeah, you never
That's
do.
the way it should be, dude.
Right.
You
It's
got to
all
give
about-
respect to the work.
It's all about your guys and about
Yeah.
your product. You're using a drone, so it's always cool because every shot, like you get to see the angles, distance, close up. It's really cool.
Does the ACM come in different textures? Like, are they expanding it where you can get some sort of a textured finish to it?
There's so many different.
Really?
There's so many different types of.
What kind of funky things are they making?
They have wood grain.
They have wood grain.
Yeah,
but does it look like laminate wood grain from the 90s, or does it look like wood grain?
Does it look like
I'm not
cedar?
a fan of it. The wood grain even costs more than $40 a square foot.
And is
Wow.
it painted on, or is it engraved in the metal?
I think it's painted. I think
It's
I
painted
don't know.
on?
To be honest, I don't know. I haven't really ordered the wood grain. I'm not a big fan of it.
What about some sort of textured
Yeah,
finishes?
they have. They definitely have. There's different manufacturers, though not the manufacturer I order from.
Yeah.
There's lots of different manufacturers.
What's the color range now? I guess majority of people want darker tones. It'd
Yeah.
be blacks and grays,
Black and
gunmetal,
charcoals,
charcoal,
yeah.
white. You would never do white, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really, white?
Yeah, we've done white
Well, a lot of high-rise buildings are white, silver, right?
for sure.
What's the cleaning on that?
Mother Nature.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I never had to maintain it myself.
No
I just
maintenance.
install
Like when you
it.
install it,
ACM's known for
Maintenance free.
Yeah.
So I guess it's going to be like you're going to see a lot more of it in the industry.
Yeah, in residential especially, it blew up, right? But you never see that in residential before. Maybe.
Okay, but I'm trying to figure out because you're basically talking 50 a square, no 40 a square. That's expensive square for
Very.
exterior cladding. That's more. That's a lot more than brick. I'm sorry, but I saw some nice Italian bricks, and they're beautiful. They're longer. They're like 18 inches long and 2 inches thick.
I think with this product, it's ageless. It's always gonna look new. It's
You
always
think
gonna
it's
look
ageless, or
yeah, because I've
I'm
been
thinking
looking.
I'm thinking ACM is leaning towards more modern contemporary homes. You would never put it on a Victorian.
No, never.
No, but that's true.
So the majority of homes that are made are not.
but it's not like you could put something on in the back of the home.
Yes,
and
yes.
It could be modern, and you can have that Victoria feel in
But
front.
as a homeowner, would you spend $40 a square on the back of the home?
I'm already thinking about talking to him about it.
Really?
Like, I'm building a house. I know it's far from here, but like I really like the product. Like I can't stop looking at it. I think it's really worth the feel for me. Like I know you're more Victorian.
No, I like all kinds of homes, man.
But I like modern because I look at houses from 1970, 1960, and some
Angel
of them,
stone and glass block.
no. Some of the more, they look like they're still modern. They still look like they've been built now. And you ask how long ago, and people are like saying, "Oh, 1965, 1972," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I can't believe that house looks that modern.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine a house like that in 50 years would still look fantastic, like it was that day.
I want to know more about the process that you guys are in the back there when the guys are making it, right? So you're basically designing every single.
Yeah, usually we draw it out. We don't have fancy CAD programs and stuff, but we usually draw it out. We have a program where we draw out the panel layout and stuff.
Because you're bending and shaping.
Yeah,
and
we go on site, we measure, we put together a drawing of how we're gonna lay out the panels, and basically each panel's got its own measurement. Write it out, and we cut the panels to size.
What if you screw up a panel? Then that's it. You screw up the panel,
Wasted a lot of money.
and then we're back on the whiteboard.
So you don't do siding or anything anymore.
We do siding, but not like vinyl or.
And what kind?
What kind of siding? Like,
Yeah,
What siding?
Yeah, we do some Maybach.
Yep.
beautiful.
We've done
Love
Maybach
that product.
longboard.
You guys
Longboard's
get,
amazing.
really get
Longboard's
into
incredible.
Skyluxe Roofing is getting into all kinds of.
So it's very
cladding now.
modern.
It's like longboard is a metal. You know that, right? Like longboard's a metal siding, so it's kind of goes with it.
It's the same family.
Yeah.
You guys the trades are still doing the same work.
I've seen it before, and it's nice that you can mix all that together. How do you feel about that whole look? The
I
modern
like
look?
that. I like that look. I think that I would try to take it. I would try to do it something different with it because I think if the standard is what vertical, at a width of what 12, 16 inches.
No, I'd
How-
say. I mean, it depends on the situation, but in a big wall, 4x5, 4x6, 3x5.
Okay.
Can you
bigger
do
panels.
4x8?
Yeah, I mean the panels come 16 feet by 5 feet. That's the standard size. You can order them any size you want, though.
Do you have any problems with bugs or water getting behind it at all?
No, we put drain holes inside them.
Okay.
So if any water does get behind, first of all, any metal that you ever install unless it's a standing seam roof, is not intended for waterproofing. Like people think that if you put metal parapet coping on the like parapet walls of a flat roof, that it's intended for waterproofing. It's not.
Strictly
The membrane in behind is
That's
what's
what's
waterproofing.
waterproofing.
The metal's there to finish off the building and to eliminate wind.
That's kind of funny because it's the same thing applicable to tile. Everyone thinks that tile is the waterproofing material. No,
Exactly.
it's the waterproofing material that's behind
right.
the tile. The tile is just a decorative material. So ACM is the same thing.
Same thing. ACM needs blue skin behind, and you put drain holes in behind.
Now, what kind of
each
blue skin are you using behind there?
High temperature.
So is that a thick, or is it like a breathable?
Wait, I thought you were like a blue skin expert.
Well, I want to find out what he's using.
Yeah, we use blue skin. We use not the VP. We usually use the high temp.
So it's not breathable at all.
No. I
And-
mean, it depends on the situation. Every situation is different, but usually we use the.
But they also spec that out on the drawings too.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you guys install it.
Yeah.
Primer.
Yeah,
Wait a second. You're saying you're rolling it on?
the blue skin.
The blue
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah.
When you're not putting the rollout sheets, you're actually rolling on the blue skin, doing 2 or 3 coats, and then you're putting the product over top.
No, primer and then
The actual
yeah.
material. Okay.
Yeah, isn't that how you install it, blue skin?
Sometimes.
I've installed it always with a primer. They always recommend the primer.
I never use that blue skin. Like I've only used VP.
But any kind of material, like membrane
Yeah,
material,
I don't think
waterproofing.
VP needs the primer, right?
Oh,
Well,
they
it
don't
does
need
in some places.
Oh, really?
Does it?
Yeah, I've run into some spots where it doesn't want to stick to like concrete or something, and we'll just put some on there, and then
Yeah,
it adheres,
out,
right? What do you do around windows?
It's the same idea. Do metal around the window, aluminum.
So you're just doing
It's the same
normal drip
idea.
edges and the capping around it.
When you have aluminum, yeah, you do aluminum. You
Generally,
you
like the
tend-
windows, when they spec out the windows, and what kind of a brick mold do they put on the windows?
There'd be no brick mold.
So it'd just be the ACM tied right to the window, nice
Yeah,
and
nice
clean.
and tight,
Or you
caulk it.
do a corner
We would basically wrap the ACM nice and tight to the window,
and a bead of caulking, and
beat a
that's
caulk
it.
around, done.
So
But obviously, everything in behind has to be waterproof properly. Like the blue skin on the
Yeah.
wall, around the window, everything has to be done properly.
And you're only putting fasteners around the perimeter of the ACM board.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's because of the composite in the back end of this material, it's stable enough that you won't get any kind of warping, no nothing at
Zero.
all over time.
Zero.
through the seasons.
Zero.
Nothing like extreme hot,
Zero.
extreme cold.
Zero.
How close can you come to the ground?
Oh, good question.
I don't know what the rule is on that, to be honest.
Well,
We don't-
like
we don't
probably
go
12
all the way
inches.
to the ground.
Typically, I stay 10 inches from the ground. I don't like that brick to the ground. I don't like that stucco to the ground.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
No,
like
you're
that
not supposed
siding
to
to
have
the
it
ground.
that. It's
I'm just
concrete.
wondering how close you could bring it because I don't know enough about this. I'm actually learning right
We're
now.
usually there before the landscapers. Like, so
Here's
I
a
don't- I don't know.
question. Here's a question for you. Have you done an ICF home in ACM? Has anybody brought that up to you?
No. What's ICF?
ICF is insulated concrete forms, right? So now I know with the trim.
Yeah, I have. I did it. We didn't do ACM on the house, but we did the roofs.
You did the roofs on that, but I know with the trend going on is that a lot more people are looking to do full homes in ICF, not just the basements. So now you're going to have
I
insulation.
had a client that did that, and basically I had to tell him to put plywood on some of the flat roofs because what do I put my membrane to? So he had to clad the walls inside. There was like a parapet wall full of just styrofoam.
Yeah.
I said, no, you gotta
And you
put
can't-
plywood
you can't
on.
adhere to that.
I can't adhere to the styrofoam. So
You can't use no nails. That great product where it's a caulking, no nails,
I
no
use
nails.
no nails on base
Fuck
plates.
no nails. I hate no nails.
I love it.
I can't stand no nails.
It
I
saved
dated
me a
somebody one
dozen
time and she
times.
asked me to use no nails. I looked at her as going, "This relationship's done."
I had no nails.
No, because I see that trend. Because the thing is, I agree with you. I see a lot more people using ACM, but they're going to want to be that building science kind of conscious where they're going to have the ICF. So now, how would we do that, or how would you do that?
yeah, I would have to get strapping.
So waterproof strap and then waterproof.
we do a lot of commercial projects too. Usually, it's spec where you put Z bars every. We just quoted a Shoppers Drug Mart.
So what
the-
is
the
a
spec-
Z bar exactly?
A Z bar is a thick gauge, 18 gauge piece of metal that is basically shaped like a Z. It gets fastened through the sheathing, and it's as wide as your insulation is. So let's say you're planning on putting 3 inches of Roxol on the face of the building. You're going to get 3-inch Z bars. So the Roxol fits in between. You have something to fasten
Got
the
it. Now I
panels.
totally understand. Yeah, I get it.
And there's no thermal bridging, right? Because if you have,
So
it's-
Z
if-
bars would totally work in an ICF application then.
100%.
So
Yeah.
you're saying there's no conduction.
Very minimal because the insulations almost butt up to each other. It's just
Yeah.
touching each other with the.
That's a
like
good
that.
question.
I like
How much more energy efficient is the home now that you have this metal on the outside? Does it take a lot of weight, like a lot of heat away or a lot of cold from the actual building?
I'm not a building science guy. It's hard for me to answer that.
But you do complete wraps of a home so that it's completely
Yeah.
externally,
Waterproof, yeah.
yeah, and thermal broken.
I guess a lot of the work started with the front entryway the canopies, the vestibules kind of thing. They were always asking for
ACM.
instead of putting the classic 4-panel siding, soffit, whatever, right? That kind of ventilated crap, right? So now it's all ACM, which I'm liking, and I just didn't really I didn't really look at it that carefully until I started seeing them in the back working on it, and actually you guys produce every single piece, and then it goes custom means custom.
Well, it's funny we were just saying that everything is kind of going commercial now.
The look, and I've always said that. I said all great ideas come from commercial. Spray foam came from commercial. You know what I mean? HRVs came from
Metal.
commercial. Everything, and aluminum, tall glass, commercial. This all came from commercial,
Right.
and it's seeping its way into residential. Problem is that it's still expensive. Now, is it really expensive, or are we just charging a higher price point? Is it a bit of both?
ACM?
Yeah,
No, it's expensive.
it's expensive. But then, in fairness, you got to charge the labor more expensive then.
That's what it is. It's a lot of labor. The material is expensive too, but it's
There's a lot of labor.
A lot of labor involved. Yeah. It's not like you're just ordering a product that
'Cause
comes
every
to
piece
site
is
and you install
it's
it.
personal,
Every piece is
right?
custom made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that, right?
It's not like the brickies, right? So the brickies are probably angry at you. You don't have a lot of bricklaying friends.
Well, they're cheaper than we are. I mean,
What is the cost? Like $5 a brick?
A brick? Try
Like a brick's
$1.50.
$1.
$1.50, man.
So a buck.
I guess it
a brick.
depends on the brick too, right?
It depends on the brick. If you go larger brick, then you're still paying the same amount.
So your price is square foot. If we think about a square foot, how many bricks in a square foot?
Getting 4 or 5 bricks, not even
Stucco is usually an average between 12 and 15 bucks.
a square.
Bricks usually comes in and around the same, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Siding,
Stone is double that.
Maybach siding isn't cheap.
No,
it's
and it doesn't
expensive
last forever.
I mean, the product alone could be between 15 and 35 bucks a square, right?
Yeah, it's expensive too.
And then it has to be installed. So really, it's not more expensive. It's really about the look that you're looking for, what you want that appeals to you, right?
Yeah, usually there's a mix of it because you're not going to put a whole ACM around a whole house. You know, there's usually a mix of stone, stucco, and ACM.
You'll have some wood material.
Wood
you have some
material, yeah,
ACM. You'll have some stone.
We're rarely cladding a whole house. Like it's just never.
That's not
the only time we did that was Toddy Tickles, right?
Really?
Yeah, we did it basically his whole house. The
Toddy
two,
Tickles.
Toddy Tickles, yeah.
Todd Shapiro.
Why is he called Toddy Tickles?
That's his name.
What? You
He's
don't
a
know
radio
what-
guy
you
too.
don't
I
know
don't
him?
fucking know about Toddy Tickles.
You're my age.
I know who he is, but I didn't realize
okay.
his nickname is Tickles.
Yeah, that's his nickname.
Yeah, on his last show. Now he has a different podcast show, so
Yeah,
they
there's
don't
a
really
little- little-
call him that anymore.
Oh, why
That's
not?
still his Instagram handle, isn't it?
Toddy Tickles.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, is it? How was he to work for?
He's good. He's
Yeah.
a good guy.
Is he creative?
Yeah, no, he came up with some good ideas. He designed the house. Like he designed it with his guys. So
Oh, so you used his architect.
yeah, I didn't use my architect for that. My architect will recommend me to clients. Todd actually reached out to me
Okay.
while he was building the house. He had issues. He hired another roofer. He reached out to me originally because he wanted me to do the roof, and I don't know, one of his buddies I guess recommended another roofer, and they completely screwed up the job.
Wow. So you had to
How
peel
did
all
he-
that
he was
off.
so upset.
What was the issue?
He was so upset that he didn't hire us. They used first of all they used a product that I'm not a big fan of. I don't know if you ever heard.
Can
of
we talk about that?
Say it.
Yeah, can I
Say it, of
Okay.
course.
So it's,
I like this. That's amazing.
no, it's called. Have you heard of it?
Yeah,
I've heard
I have.
of- yeah, I've heard of
I
that
actually
shit.
did it one time, like 25 years ago when it first came out. We did a whole deck with it.
So basically, they sell this product as it's a deck. You put your roof on, you don't need a deck. Like that's why they sell
Right.
it like that, right? That's what. It's,
Okay.
so it's you can walk on it, like, but if you put it if you even put a cigarette butt down on it, you got a leak in your roof.
No
if you,
way.
If you step on it, step on anything sharp, you got a leak in your.
What's it made out of?
It's PVC.
It looks like a vinyl floor.
Yeah, it's vinyl. It
In
looks
big
like vinyl.
sheets. It comes out like carpet. They overlap at about 10 inches. I guess it's a glue now, or is it
It's
heat
not.
pressed?
It's adhered with glue, but the seams are heat welded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a roofer, you're not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan of it. Not for this situation. I mean, PVC is what's on the Sky Dome. Yeah, like it works great in that situation. But
That's a different application.
Yeah,
though. That's basically a pitched roof.
yeah, it's different. But in this situation, as a deck, I don't agree with it. But
I got a quick question back to you, Mark, about cedar roofs,
yeah,
shingles, shakes.
yeah.
You like them? I fucking hate them.
Well, it's only a personal opinion. Doesn't
I
mean
know.
it's
He
right
can't
or
say-
wrong.
he can't say
I'm gonna
it.
be 100% honest.
The problem is that it's really, in my opinion, I'm just speaking as my opinion.
You want me to
It's-
be 100% honest?
Yes.
I love them for the first 5 years.
Thank you. That's
The
exactly
smell,
what I was
the
gonna
look.
say. It looks amazing when it's nice, like when it's new. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. and then they just fall apart, man.
I agree 100%.
And then you got to redo them all over again.
So what can you do to maintain it or
you
prolong
can't.
the life?
Yeah, a homeowner's not going to go up there and fucking seal every single one.
I had a client, a month ago. They hired a company to clean their cedar roof. Guess who came in after they cleaned it?
You.
To fix it.
Oh my god!
So what did they
was
do?
the
Pressure
problem?
wash it?
And I think it cost $10,000 to fix it.
Oh my!
How'd
Just
you-
to repair it. Imagine what they probably paid another, I don't know, to clean it. The problem, I mean,
But you see these old
there's
homes.
different ways of doing cedar too. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Okay,
This is
I didn't
actually
know-
pretty interesting. You might.
I didn't know that.
Okay, if you guys don't realize, you notice when you see cedar roofs, you see a lot of copper with it.
Yes.
The copper actually cleans the cedar. You know that?
What?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The copper, the actual metal copper,
Yes.
cleans the cedar.
Cleans the cedar.
How?
So
How's that?
the last, I quoted a cedar roof, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I said the guy had a lot of moss on his roof. I said this is a roofing application that people do in the States and stuff. You don't see too often around here. Basically, every 5 feet you put a strip of copper. The roof stays looking mint forever.
Behind the cedar.
No, yeah, behind the cedar, like
Okay.
every 5 feet, the course, you put a strip of copper with like,
What?
yeah.
I didn't
just
know
quoted
that.
it. I'll show you.
This is wicked.
I didn't know that.
So basically, that keeps the cedar clean.
That copper keeps the cedar clean.
Yes. If you look at any copper roof in Toronto, look underneath the copper vents,
And then that's why.
and you'll see it's clean underneath every copper vent, like perfectly mint.
You never knew that? I didn't know
No,
that.
dude. If
that's fucking
I'm
fascinating.
actually like speechless right now.
Yeah. So like,
So if you
it
are gonna
depends.
do a
It depends how
cedar.
you want to do it. Like me, I want to. If I would spend the money on a cedar roof, I would definitely put the
because
copper
a
strip.
cedar roof is how expensive though. It's like 3 times the cost of asphalt.
Yeah, it costs as much as a metal roof.
It's expensive, man.
So when and where is the right place to use a cedar roof, and when?
What do you mean?
Like
Where?
why? Where would be the best place to use a cedar roof?
Where?
Where or on what project? Like what would you put
it's
a
got to be
cedar roof?
it's got to be a
on?
pitch. It's got to be
It's
a
got to be a
pitch
pitch
room.
roof, obviously, and it's
Yeah.
got to be like the house that is designed that way.
Like a Cape
it's-
Cod Victorian style. I mean, it could be a contemporary, but you got to be careful.
So
about
this
it.
is what it looks like when it has the copper strips. That's what keeps the roof clean.
Really.
Yeah.
So every 4 or 5 courses there, and that's what it keeps it perfectly clean.
Yeah. And
So it'll last a lot longer.
That's what I priced out for him.
Wow, I never knew
The
that.
copper gets very expensive, but if I was to do a copper roof for myself, that's
What's
how
the copper roll? How wide is the roll that you're putting on?
we could order in any size. We usually order 4x8 sheets.
Okay.
We cut them here.
You cut them there, and you just put them down to what, like 4 or 5 inches?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't put that near galvanized because copper and galvanized don't
No,
work
copper
together.
doesn't mix with many things.
Right.
Copper, you got to use copper nails.
Copper nails.
Yeah.
There's no adhesive to it though at all.
No.
And that will prolong the life of a cedar roof.
So it'll still look beautiful.
Yeah.
How
It'll
much
still
longer?
look-
Like it will just last? Like
Yeah, I mean, if you look at old cedar roofs, you can tell the difference. If you say, like, let's say you have a copper drip edge, you can see the difference. If you have like let's say a sloped roof, flat roof on the top with a copper drip edge,
Yeah.
the water coming down the copper just cleans the cedar.
I never knew this, man.
I can't believe this.
Wow.
It's crazy, I know.
When did you discover that, Mark?
Oh, I knew about it a long time ago.
And just people. The thing is, I see these
A lot
guys.
of people aren't even aware of it.
They don't know it. They don't realize
So
it.
how often do you do cedar roofs?
I mean, we quote them all the time, but not everybody wants to pay for it.
Because it's very labor intensive, man.
Yeah, it's labor intensive. It costs a lot of money.
What do you think of slate?
Oh, slate's the best, man.
I personally love the.
Do you like it better than metal?
100%. Slate is the
What?
ultimate, man. Slate is the ultimate. Slate lasts 100 years, man.
Yeah.
If it's done properly, it lasts 100
Yeah,
years.
I do like slate.
What's the price
A lot
difference?
more. It's like double of cedar.
Wow.
But
almost
you're still in the metal roof price range though.
No,
Are you more expensive? How
Slate
much?
Slate's the most.
Really? Huh?
Yeah.
But that's also labor intensive too.
Okay, so the difference with slate and cedar, the difference between slate and shingles, the difference between slate and fake slate is you use a nail gun to put in cedar.
Hand nail it when you're doing
Slate,
slate.
you have to hand nail. Think about the labor.
Oh, it's huge.
Not only that, you got to cut each piece with a hammer. Like it's
You don't crimp them and bend them like tile kind of thing. No.
No.
You got to chip it.
there's a cutter. We have a cutter too.
Okay.
That you it's like, but it's like it's like a Neanderthal kind of.
God.
way.
Yeah.
It's like
guillotine kind of
caveman,
fucking.
yeah. It's like caveman.
That's why your arms are so big.
That's why my arms so big. Exactly.
So slate, huh?
So
Slate I
how to
love.
prep underneath slate and how to keep a
So
slate roof
the-
100 years.
The only roof really that you would change the prep is the cedar roof underneath, because the cedar is like any wood; it has to breathe.
Yeah.
So you want it sitting above the sheathing.
Yeah.
So cedar, you would have either
Strapping.
a breather or strapping.
Okay.
But
That's kind
slate
of-
goes
that's-
right on the
Slate
roof.
goes around the sheathing. The difference with slate is it's much heavier than cedar. The slate, you need at least 3/4 inch ply, minimum.
In strips?
No. The actual sheathing.
The sheathing.
If
The
you don't,
actual
if you,
sheathing.
if you don't have the sheathing 3/4 ply, you got to put strips.
Okay, so what's the
Into
minimum?
into the rafters.
What's the minimum pitch on those two?
Minimum pitch for anything
For-
for anything is a 212.
212. That's nothing. That's a flat roof. Anything
Yeah.
under a 412 is a flat roof.
Yeah. So basically, the rule is anything between 212 and 412, you need to put ice and water on the whole roof.
Okay.
Anything below 212, you got to put a flat roof membrane.
So you don't recommend doing a complete roof in ice and water shield or VP 160?
Yeah, it's up to the client. I mean,
It's just about
If
cost.
they're going to
I'd-
pay. That's all.
Do you
Wouldn't-
recommend it usually?
Is it necessary?
there's so much controversy between this.
This is what we want to hear.
There's so much controversy between this.
Why? Because the issue about-
I had another roofing guy in Toronto.
Okay.
Who's been around for 30 years, chirping me on Facebook because I'm doing a roof in Markham, big house, the most expensive roof I've ever done. The client says, I want to put Grace Ice and Water Shield around
Throughout.
the whole roof. I said, no problem, right? Basically, these guys online are saying they're roofers. The truth is they're roofers. They're not building science guys. They're not, architects or engineers. So they have their opinion, but really, is it legitimate? So the guy's saying that if you put ice and water shield on the whole roof, it's not breathable. The wood's going to rot away.
Bullshit.
Well, that's the same thing as a
Bullshit.
shingle. A shingle doesn't breathe.
I'm saying bullshit on that. I'm saying bullshit on
but
that.
a shingle doesn't breathe.
Basically, the guy was tearing me apart on Facebook. I got a picture of Drake's house. Drake has a Grace Ice and Water Shield, the exact same material on
Throughout.
his whole house. And I basically sent him because he was saying, "Oh, you better get gas masks for your clients because they're gonna die in 10 years." Like he was,
But
like,
that's a cold zone.
Like, he was basically saying it's gonna mold.
Did
It's
he-
gonna mold. It's gonna mold.
Did he
they're gonna
ask you
die.
about? Did he ask you about venting? Did he ask you if the
He didn't
roof was
ask-
hot
nah,
roof? Did he ask you about soffits? Did he ask you about any of that shit? No,
No.
he just saw you put Grace throughout the whole thing.
Exactly.
And he's just basically saying that wood's gonna rot. It's total bullshit. It won't.
I'm not a fucking building scientist. Who am I to argue with the client about putting Grace Ice and Water Shield? If architects spec that, you'd think there wasn't architects or engineers working on Drake's house.
Yeah,
Maybe.
a couple. There's probably 4. 3 of them watching the one guy that's in charge.
Why would they allow Grace Ice and Water Shield on his whole fucking roof?
Listen.
And not only that, they put it on commercial properties all the time. Like you see that shit everywhere.
No,
So-
he's wrong.
no, he's an
I'm
idiot.
sorry,
The guy's
he's
an idiot.
wrong.
I tore him
That's
apart
all.
actually, so it's okay.
I'm not a roofer, but I've seen
But you play one on TV.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the work. So I've seen failure. Where I worked, I saw all the failure to things. I didn't see all the best things. I saw the worst of the best, or products that didn't work or weren't put together well enough. From what I know, you could do the whole roof in that. It wouldn't matter. Like Manny said, if you have proper venting and airflow,
It's how the actual
not
building's designed.
overflow,
Yeah.
but just perfect. It has
Yeah.
to be engineered for that space.
I agree 100%. I don't know. If you see these guys on Facebook, oh my God, there's roofing groups.
There's roofing groups.
There's roofing groups.
Holy fuck! That sounds like biker
just from
gangs,
like Toronto,
man.
and they're all fucking nuts. They tear each other apart all the time. Oh
Really?
my
Does it
God.
go back to the other podcast that we did where Jordan was talking about how every roofer thinks they're the best
100%,
roofer?
exactly.
That's
yeah,
it?
exactly. They tear each other apart on these groups, man. It's actually funny to see sometimes. The guy was saying, you better get gas masks for your clients because they're gonna die in 10 years
Let's
or whatever.
tag
I don't
him.
know
Let's
how
tag
that
everybody.
is. How does I don't understand why he's saying that, because
saying it's gonna
nobody's
mold
in the
mold
cold
and
zone,
Yeah, I don't know. That's what he was saying.
It's bullshit. That's
I told
what
him.
I'm
I told
saying.
him.
and mold only grows from moisture sitting stagnant somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I told him to let me know where I get some gas masks. I'll drop some off to Drake.
He probably has a really nice mask. It's probably chrome.
Yeah.
So now, if I was using a cedar roof, would you go all the way up with
Sorry?
the waterproofing? You would go all the way to the top of the ridge.
Totally.
Yeah, the most important thing with the cedar is the breather.
You
I'm
need
saying.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you need the breather. You need either strapping or breather. Can you,
As long as it breathes between the waterproofing and itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what
what
I.
he said.
That's what I was going to ask you. I know that last year, Thermery, so they have thermally modified ash and pine. They came out with a shake, a roof shake.
Did they?
Yeah, they sent me a few to try it out, and I was like, "This is barely going to do like a row here, man." But I'd be curious.
I wonder how expensive it is.
It's more expensive than cedar. I think it's actually twice the price of cedar, but it's a lot more stable. So it comes in that dark brown ash color that they have. That's that classic color of theirs. It doesn't fade.
Wow.
Right?
Amazing.
But it is more expensive, but you can do a whole roof that way.
Is that European company?
No, yes, Estonia. Right?
Yeah, I remember you went there.
Yeah, so the funny thing is that they actually harvest all their material from North America, ship it to Estonia, do the process of the thermally modified.
So they can put the label on it?
Then they can put the label on it, and then they ship it around the world.
Imported.
And the problem is that North America is the biggest consumption of that product regarding decking and stuff. And I know that they were trying to do the wood, the cedar or the roofing, and I was liking it. They were doing panels of it too.
Mark's thinking
That's
already
pretty cool.
he can.
No, I got to get you some.
Put a
I got to get
kiln
you
back
some so you
there.
can try it, right? No.
I love trying new shit. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I agree with you. I love the cedar, but the thing is, the cedar looks like shit after a few years.
Man,
I never knew about
honestly-
that. That copper's an eye opener. Like I didn't even know about the copper, man.
How much more square foot to add that copper?
I don't know. I'd have to. Every job's different.
It's an expensive roof. But then
Copper's expensive.
why aren't clients thinking this is the fucking thing about my house, man? Like you're spending $100,000 on the kitchen, you're spending $100,000 on the bathrooms, you're spending all kinds of shit inside the house. Why wouldn't you want to?
Why wouldn't you spend it on a 50-year roof?
On a roof
that's going to outlive you.
Yes. Why do you want to go back up there in 20 years or whatever?
Okay, so
right?
I'm going to ask a personal question now.
Yeah.
I have a slate roof.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Every winter, 2 slate pieces come down, smash on the car or a friend's car or a guest.
Yeah. They smash into your guests'
What-
faces.
No, not on their faces. So why are those slate pieces coming off?
They got to be maintained.
Well, the house is 160 years old.
Okay, the house is 160 years old.
So what is it? The nails? The nails are moving?
Yeah, it's possible they didn't use copper nails for one, because copper lasts. You're supposed to use copper nails when you install
With slate?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if they aren't using copper nails, the nails rust. They rust through. It's possibly that's either it. It wasn't nailed properly. There's so many things. That
But we don't have to worry about an air gap underneath slate.
No.
It could be directly on the roof.
Yeah. The only roof that would change is cedar.
And structurally weight would
Structurals,
It's just 3/4 ply, right?
So, you know,
That's
slate weighs
heavy.
Slate weighs I think 600 pounds per 100 square feet,
Wow.
something like that. I'm pretty sure.
So a 10 by 10 section is 400 pounds?
I think 500 to 600 pounds.
What's funny because we went into the attic and we were doing some minor renovations, so we tore off some of the drywall, and I figured we'd put some rafting straps across, and somebody in the family removed one, and all the weight on the roof actually opened up the roof, so I had to come along and squeeze it back together and then restrap all them and basically replace, like put a piece on, then remove. Put a piece on.
Oh, shit.
remove. So there's a lot of weight. You're totally right.
Well, on those older homes,
like
your
the
home's
roof
is-
wanted to cave in.
Yeah, your home's a century home, so they
Yeah.
probably used what, 3/4 planks.
Yeah, they use the thick planks. Yeah, for sure.
So that's what's taking the weight there.
So if I wanted to do repairs, is it smarter to do repairs or just remove the roof at this point?
Depends what you want. We just actually removed the slate roof this week. We did it. We just finished it. It depends. If you like the look of the slate roof, you can maintain it, but you got to maintain it every couple of years. You're gonna have to change pieces here and there. If in your situation like the whole thing's falling apart, maybe they didn't use copper
Well,
nails.
we lose 3 or 4 a year.
Yeah, 3 or 4 a year, then you can maintain it or you could replace it. It's up to
So what are you doing with the 3 or 4 a year that are moving? You got holes in the house now.
Well, we're actually looking for.
I know a roofer.
someone- I know a roofer now too. And you know why? I don't even know why I didn't think of bringing you by.
Get that guy who doesn't want to do isomotor shield all over there.
I'm not even interested.
He might just bubble gum it up there, man.
So, do you ever tell anyone to do maintenance, like put sealer on slate, or is that something you
Slate,
don't want to
need
do?
Sealer. Some people put sealer on cedar. Like you can get pressure treated cedar.
On slate, you don't want to do anything.
No.
You just
Never.
want it to stay organic and breathable.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the roofing industry?
We went through this last time.
I know. I want to know more. I want to see if it's changed.
I don't know.
It
man.
hasn't changed, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get guys that even want to do the work.
Nobody wants. It's those two jobs, man. Roofing and concrete. Those are the two jobs that guys do not want to do.
There's a lot of opportunity in roofing, man. There's a lot of.
You saw it. You built it. You're working it. You're
Yeah.
building a solid crew.
Yeah,
You've
but
got
this is a
solid
different
guys.
company. He's taking it above and beyond.
You've
Most-
got 20 employees. How many guys did you have to go through to get those 20 employees?
I went through a bunch of guys.
A lot of guys. But these guys are all good now and they're working hard. And
Yeah, I
everybody-
mean, I got a couple new guys that we hired last week. We're giving guys shots all the time.
Do you-
You know, if they want to learn, we teach them.
And you're
But
always
they got to
willing
show incentive, and if
course.
there's always opportunity.
Of course.
Do you do soffits?
I usually sub that out.
Okay.
I usually sub that out. Some clients want
Copper gutters or anything?
Yeah, we usually sub
Those are beautiful, but you don't get into that. You just sub it out.
we sub it out.
Those are beautifully
Well,
expensive.
we have done it. Like James is a sub, but he works with me
Yeah.
every day. Like,
Yeah, I've
I
seen
just
the
pay
stuff.
him. I just pay him as a sub.
He
but
did that
he's with us.
amazing that copper fucking turret, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Did you see this thing?
The cupola.
It's a fucking work of art, man. It's an absolute work of art.
That was one of the most fun jobs we ever did.
What do you focus on so people know what exactly you do?
We do any type of roofing and cladding. I mean,
So,
metal cladding.
Cold or hot process.
Cold or
you
hot,
do
anything.
knee
Commercial,
walls.
residential.
You do all the metal work for all the knee walls and
So you
the
can't really
curbs.
call it Skyluxe Roofing anymore.
I had this debate with somebody before I opened that, if I'm going to do metal cladding, because I had a plan to do metal cladding.
might have
since
to
the
open another
beginning,
division.
That I might have to, change the name or something.
No. Skyluxe Roofing and Cladding.
And cladding, maybe. Yeah.
And bars and dinners.
And bars and dinners.
Carlito's quiet today.
This is the copper.
There it is. Look at that. Look at that thing.
Wow.
Look at that.
If
thing.
anyone can see this right I wish we could put this on
It's
air.
an audio show, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's
No, but
beautiful
you can go to
house.
his Instagram and you can see it. Like, that's a work of art, man. You don't see that kind of work these days. People don't do this kind of stuff.
I wish
anymore.
people could see this because I'm having a good time right
No,
now.
it's on his Instagram page. You can take a look at it and you'll find it. Just scroll through, and it's got the drone footage on it. It's beautiful. Look at it.
Now, is
That
that
was all
light or
fabricated
heavy?
here.
We fabricated everything here and then brought it up, craned it up. Well, we used the elevator work platform to get it up there.
So is that also, did you hook that up to a ground so that it can cut lightning?
No, it's all for.
It's just
show.
cosmetics.
Strictly decorative, man. Just beautiful.
We did one at High Park when we rebuilt the park.
I remember that.
And it was actually
Grounded?
grounded so that
That
it
makes
could,
sense. You
take-
wouldn't want kids to be playing there while there's a lightning storm
I don't
going
know, I
on.
think it'd be pretty cool.
Where do you see the roofing industry go from here? I mean, you've been at this for 3 years. You saw all the mistakes beforehand. You perfected it for your own self. You found good guys to be working on it. You're expanding from roofing to cladding now. Where do you see it going from here?
For myself,
For yourself, for Skyluxe, for the team, for the guys.
as my company, I would like to expand more into commercial.
Get into more commercial stuff?
Yeah.
We hear this age-old argument back and forth where it's like guys love the commercial, they hate resi. They love the resi, they hate commercial. It's this back and forth.
I'd like a mix of both. But
Really, yeah?
yeah, I'd like to get more into the commercial game.
Those are the big players who are in the commercial game, though.
Yeah.
They're going to welcome you? Of course not, because every roofer is the best.
It's a mafia, man.
Is it really? Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun.
So, if you could tell all the people that were listening, what are the things to stay away from in flat roofing and in cladding your home? Like, what are the things that you
away
need to
from?
look? What do you need to stay away from, and what do you need to keep an eye on when you hire someone?
What are the
to
mistakes?
know?
What are the rookie mistakes that you'll see roofers do on a flat application?
On a flat?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, we're getting into technical details, but there's a lot of ways they cut corners.
How?
One of the ways is like not using, so when you're waterproofing a wall or, a skylight or any penetration, you're supposed to use 3 foot wide pieces. That's the rule.
Really? Solid pieces.
3 foot, like you can't extend, you can't use longer flashings than 3 feet. A lot of
Okay.
guys use like 10, they try to cut corners, speed up, and they use like 10 foot,
Oh,
20
they
foot
do.
pieces.
Wow.
When they do that, air gets trapped in, and then it'll just blister over time and pop and leak, right?
Got it.
Like there's so many different ways I could explain that people cut corners. Homeowners, what they can do is basically hire a reputable company. There's a lot of companies that do shit work that much larger than me.
But you know what? To me, that wouldn't make any sense. I would have thought, until you just explained that, I would have rather seen full, larger rollouts.
So when you're doing this, I'm not talking about the field. So the field, the roll comes in 26 by 3 feet.
Okay.
That's a field roll. That you can use a whole roll. But when you're doing a wall, let's say you're waterproofing a wall,
Right.
you can only waterproof in 3 foot wide pieces. Because you can't, basically when you're applying it, you got to make sure there's no air inside.
Do you understand?
And you're
I
saying you can't
it.
get the air out.
So if you do a wide piece,
If it's
how are you-
longer than
if it's
3
longer than
feet,
how are you going to get the air
You
out?
can't get the air out.
Wow.
So like that's one of the things. There's many different things that people do to cut corners. You're not even ripping out the old roofs. Like a lot of guys still
Just
do
go
that.
right on top of it.
Yeah, go on
And then
top.
you discover it and there's
What-
15 layers.
So people are trying to save money,
Yeah.
and people are doing it. What's really the downfall to that? Why is that not good? Why is it like if someone's listening right now? Why is it not good to remove
for
it?
one reason, whenever you let's say, so I see guys have a tar and gravel roof. A lot of people will put down insulation, fasten it through the roof deck, through the old roof, through the gravel, and then apply the roofing material on top.
Really?
I had a good client of mine who has a large drywall company. He was buying a building in Collingwood. And basically, the guy who was buying the building off of got some cheap roof on there to try and sell the building. He didn't realize that the guy who wanted to buy the building off him was in construction and knows better. So basically, he called me to do a report and to take a look. They were fastening the fasteners, a large commercial building. They were fastening the insulation through the old tar and gravel. They don't know what they're hitting. So these screws are literally just
grabbing whatever, they're grabbing anything.
Yeah, so basically like 40% of the screws were actually grabbing anything. The rest, they're just going to pop through. The buildings move over time, heat loss, whatever. The screws will actually pop through the membrane.
Are you going to tell me that the roof actually flew away? Or
It's possible, but the screws will actually puncture right through the membrane from the underside.
From underneath.
Yeah, so this roof was leaking like crazy, 2-year-old roof.
So you're saying the heat will force it up?
I don't know if it's the heat or the building movement, whatever it is.
Well, because that screw didn't really bite a joist.
Didn't bite anything.
It actually a rafter or anything like that. It just was floating there, and then the heat would pull it up.
Yeah.
So your company does reports and inspections?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Screwing down insulation through a gravel roof, you don't know what you're screwing into. Like I've seen roofs literally tear off like a Band-Aid.
Wow.
This happens all the time.
How many sets of binoculars do you guys have?
0. Just a drone.
Okay, so you're...
Yeah, I'm just talking about roofers who have binoculars who refuse to go on the roof to inspect the roof. He doesn't have any binoculars.
He doesn't need to, he has a drone.
He goes on the roof. That's what I'm saying. He goes on the roof.
So you always remove whatever's there?
Yeah, always.
And that's to give a 100%
No, first
warranty?
he discovers what's there, and then you explain it to the client. We didn't know this, but how do you want to handle it? This is how you guys would handle it, and then they agree with you, right?
Yeah.
Because what's the point of drilling right through the gravel too? The pea gravel, really?
Right through the gravel. The guy who, was trying to sell the building spent I think $200,000 down the drain. Like they had another roof consultant come on and said you got to replace this roof.
So it would have been cheaper if you just did it right.
100%.
Well, that's generally how it works.
Now it's going to cost even more to tear everything
because you
up.
got to take all that shit off and then start all over again.
Yeah, so that's common still. There's some companies that make a living just doing that because there's some clients that no matter what you explain to them or how much you explain to them, they still like to gamble. They see that cheaper price and they still rather gamble with that cheaper price, but they don't know. Like they don't realize that they're not getting a warranty with it.
What's your warranty?
10 years.
10 years. So you'll come back 10 years. Any issues, you come back.
Okay, this was leading to a couple of my questions. I was being really patient. Mm-hmm. In recycling these products, are the membranes and the shingle and the insulation, is it recyclable?
No.
So what happens with that waste?
Disposal. I get it disposal guys to get rid of it.
And they cannot do anything with it?
No, I don't think so.
So this guy just ruined our environment trying to be cheap.
Yeah.
Well, that's generally the case with a lot of guys who are trying to be cheap. You create more landfill.
Okay, so here's another question. You got a 50-year roof. You don't give 50 years. You only give 10 years, but 50 years
50
on the
years
material?
is the material. Yeah.
This is like a conversation I hear all the time. I want to hear it from you. Do you do shingles?
Yeah.
Okay. Some guys are telling me, I'm going to put a 10-year shingle on my roof or a 15-year shingle.
They make 10-year shingles?
15-year shingle. What are the pros and cons between 15, 25, 50? And
Okay,
is 25 really 25?
First of all, the warranties are all bullshit.
Dum, dum, dum.
the material shingle warranties are all bullshit because
What
a lot
makes
of
them?
a lot of these brands have the same warranty, but they don't realize the quality of the shingles varies from brand to brand. So just because a brand says they're going to give you a 25-year warranty, or now they say lifetime. You know
Do they?
right?
That
say-
makes no sense to
But
me.
no one
lifetime.
ever does it.
Because many homeowners are surprised that they don't realize that a four-sided roof will age differently.
Exactly. Right?
Because the earth moves around. You know what I mean? There's this big
Well, I think
light.
we're doing like 17 Gs.
So the exposure on each side is different seasonally and all this other shit, right? So it will age differently.
Yeah, for sure.
But so what makes a cheap shingle versus a good quality shingle?
Like fiberglass. tar.
Fiberglass, the weight of the shingles. There's some manufacturers out
So
there.
a thicker, heavier.
Yeah, there's some manufacturers out there that won't even tell you the weight of the shingle
Why won't they tell you?
for a reason.
Really?
You can't find that information online from some manufacturers. There's other manufacturers that are transparent with how heavy their shingles are and how much they weigh and how much asphalt's inside.
Yeah.
Those companies are better in my opinion. And I've been on roofs.
cow.
I've been on roofs. So when there was the windstorms a couple years ago,
I
there was
remember
only
that.
one brand of shingle that I was repairing.
What brand was that?
I don't know if I should say.
Say it off mic and I'll just edit it out. Tell us what brand it is. I'll edit it out. Really?
No way.
It's garbage.
Wow. Okay, I'll edit that out, but I'll go one day.
I'll go one day.
Seriously,
No,
that
no.
was
So just some shingles, some companies, I've been on roofs that honestly 25 years old, the roof still looks okay. Like 15 years, it's gone.
Okay,
so
so
why is it just because
They don't even tell you how heavy the shingles weigh. You can't find that information online.
And cost wise, what are we talking about? A bundle of
You're
theirs
talking about a
versus
couple bucks.
this fucking drives me crazy
Oh
when
my
it's like
God.
a couple of bucks per bundle.
okay, I'm a homeowner.
And you know what? Honestly, I have no problem working with brands and stuff. I used to install. After that windstorm, I won't install it no more.
Because you saw them
Because
failing.
why do I want to go back and fix fucking
You
shingles?
don't.
I don't. I don't
No,
want to do that.
it's not called Skyluxe repairs.
I don't want to do
He's
it.
going behind bad contractors.
Well, that's
you
new
know?
roof, though.
That's what good guys do.
That's new roof.
Okay, so I'm a homeowner and I want to get a shingle on my roof. What are you recommending?
Certainty.
Certainty?
Get
They got
outta
really good shingles, eh?
They're
And
amazing.
why?
The adhesive on the back of the Certainty shingle is so strong. If you go and do a repair on a Certainty roof, let's say you got to slide another shingle underneath another
Yeah.
shingle, you're gonna rip apart half the roof to even get it because the adhesive is so fucking strong that it's literally becomes one. With other shingle manufacturers, you go do a repair, it's easy.
So you're saying
The
they're not.
adhesive on the back, that's what holds the shingles together. in
It
a
all
windstorm.
locks it all
In
together.
a windstorm, yes.
Oh.
It's okay, it's Mark. So, and what are we looking for for a homeowner to be looking like? What would I be looking for as a homeowner for a shingle next to the name? You know how you can have like 4 tabs
you mean
on
brad
there,
co-
but
oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't have tabs, but it looks like it's tabs and
Yeah,
it's
they're
a
doing
solid piece.
Well, now they don't have really 3 tabs are obsolete. They don't really
Okay.
make them anymore.
And they were failing, right?
Yeah, they're cheap shingles.
They would just blow off.
Yeah, so now the thing is architectural shingles. That's 3 tabs are obsolete.
Everybody's
Nobody
all,
uses them.
yeah, everybody.
The only time people use 3 tabs, like all my suppliers say, like they're discontinued, can't even get them anymore most of the time.
Not even because what about green 3-tab?
Yeah, those are hard to get. Yeah,
Unless you're in Little Italy or Port Drop Town,
Yeah,
eh?
exactly, right.
Then you'll find them.
When's the best season? When's the best months to do shingles? And when not
so
to
you,
do
you
shingles?
you can do shingles any time of year.
Okay.
The thing is, what people say that you can't do shingles in the winter is because it needs that heat from the sun in order to adhere. So
Yes.
that adhesive on the back of the shingle needs some UV rays in order to seal.
Got it.
So a lot of people say that you shouldn't do your roof in the wintertime. I get it, but it can be done in the wintertime. You just need some heat to seal.
So I was told that in the winter, it's so cold and rigid that the granules will fall off.
No, that's not true.
Okay. And I was told in the summer, when you walk on a really extremely hot month like July or August, that it's gushy and you can rub it in and squeeze it
yeah,
out.
that's very possible. But
Okay.
usually what we do in the hot days is we'll come early in the morning, 6 a.m., and we're out by like 1.
So you're wrapping up by the time it's high.
Yeah.
Instead of showing up at 10 o'clock and working until 7 at night.
That's Eddie. Eddie shows up at that time.
If you actually look, there's actually a Certainty like shingle applicator manual. I have it here. It actually tells you how they want the shingles installed in the winter.
There's a company for you.
So what's your second and third then?
So there's Owens Corning, which is also great.
That's your second?
Yeah.
Okay.
And probably Gaff
So
after
Certainty first.
And then Gaff a third.
Yeah.
Okay. Gold,
Ga-
silver, bronze.
Weight's important to keep the shingle down. The heavier, the better.
Weight tells you how thick and strong the shingle is and how it'll last longer.
Okay.
So Certainty actually is one of the only brands that has a 5-layer shingle, the Grand Manor shingle. So you see that on massive houses,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It looks like a piece of slate.
Yeah.
You ever see it?
Yeah,
install it
I've
all the
seen
time.
that.
That shingle's actually 5 layers. That shingle actually weighs, I think, double of what a regular shingle weighs.
Wow. When I read 25 years, what am I expecting to get out of that shingle?
Well, now they don't have 25 years anymore. You know, the old shingles, they would say 30 years. They would say 20 or 30 years. Now they only have the 20 years. So like the minimum shingle now is like a 30 year.
Okay.
Now they say it's a lifetime. But it depends on the brand. Just because it says 30 years, it depends on the brand. I see it firsthand. I mean, I have a client who built a house 10 years ago. His roof is almost done.
Wow.
Massive house in Danforth.
How? Like what's...
Because of the shingle, man. It's thin. It's thin gauge. The sun rays just...
The wind.
The sun rays just...
So on
destroy it.
let's just say, argument's sake, 3,500 square foot house, and you got a roof, pitch roof. Let's go pitch roof. What is the budget that should be allocated for a shingle roof?
On a 3,500 square foot house?
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm looking at drawings, I'm looking at the roof.
How many
pitch,
ridges,
square
how many
footage.
valleys, and things like
So
that?
like, let's say you have a 3,500 square foot bungalow. That's different than a 3,500 square foot 2-story because there's more roof area
Yeah.
on a bungalow, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's hard for me to say. I know roof area.
So you base it on square footage
of the roof.
Of the roof.
Yeah, not the home.
Got it. So you look at the roofing drawings and you'll figure out exactly, and then that'll get you your price.
Yeah.
And that's how they figure it out.
Yeah.
And the fly by night guys, how do they do it? Binoculars?
Who knows?
2,500. Are you doing any solar shingles? I
would love to.
Really?
I would love
Are
to.
you talking about the Tesla stuff?
But that,
Yeah, I've been watching out rollout shingles,
yeah, but
shingle tiles.
Are they? Does it work?
I don't know,
even think
I'm
it's out
asking
yet.
him.
I don't even think it's out yet. If it came out, I would love to. I'd love to.
I don't think it's perfect.
But you know what? Like slate costs $40 a foot.
Oh, that's gonna be a lot more
It's gonna
expensive.
be a lot more. Think about that.
So
That's for the rich.
Yeah,
You know, people that have
that's
that
gotta
money
be
is not an
over,
object.
over 100 a square, man.
okay, so for example, right now I have a slate roof. I should remove it and do what?
You could do an asphalt shingle. Yeah.
Asphalt shingle. That's what you recommend.
You got
Unless
high
wanna do a slate
pitches.
roof. You
You
want a
had-
slate roof? Let's do a slate roof on your house. A new one.
Okay, well, maybe we should get a couple quotes. The first one, make sure I'm off the roof. What about metal on that roof?
You have an old house.
Yeah,
Metal panels has to be straight.
has to be straight.
And
I
if
have,
not,
I
it's
have
gonna
a
look
lot
like
of,
shit.
Yeah,
Your-
I have a lot
your
of
roof is
dormers.
moved, yeah.
I have
Your-
dormers,
your-
round pitches. It's a very old architectural house.
Those rafters start to they're on like a banana over the years.
Wow.
So I wouldn't recommend doing a metal.
Because you'll be shimming the shit out of it.
So
Unless you
yours-
reframe it. I mean, if you reframe it, sure, yeah.
Okay, so what kind of shingle am I looking at?
I mean, just a standard shingle lasts you a long time.
Listen, big thanks for everything you've done to the Construction Life podcast.
It's been doing really well, man.
I really want to. I don't even know how to say thank you for what
You know what?
do
You
for
never
us.
gave Mark a shout out on this episode.
Because I have him right here, but I am right now. I mean, I love you to death, man. Like
Thanks, man. Love you
you've
too.
done something for us. You're helping the industry.
It's huge. Huge.
It's no big deal, man.
No, it's a very big deal, man. It's a very big deal.
What bothers you the most about this industry in roofing? Flat roofing, shingles.
What's the one thing in the construction life? What's the fucking one thing that's driving you crazy? I know what it is for me.
What?
Just fucking having to collect and just having to deal with people wanting to change their mind about paying you for services that you agreed to.
Yeah, that's definitely up there for sure.
The construction industry is the only industry where we get fucked.
Yeah. So for me is,
Wait, you're asking Mark what it is. We haven't heard from what he thought.
but he did kind of say he was in the same position as you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's got to be the worst for sure. Collecting money.
I
for
think
sure.
every single week I might get 2 or 3 DMs from other contractors asking me what to do when a client doesn't want to pay.
Yeah.
For me, the worst thing in construction, and a lot of guys are going to hate hearing this, but I really hate the fly-by-night guys. It makes it really hard for loyal, honest guys that follow the rules, that pay the taxes, that pay the WSIB.
Set up everything.
That keep their guys safe. We're the guys that suffer from the guys coming in and undercutting us. You know, I tell somebody a price of $100,000. Somebody comes in at 60, and then I'm in the same position as you, Mark. I'm coming back, and I'm charging them extra because I have to fix the job that they didn't take from me.
You get a lot of that, Mark?
Just like clients call other people and try to, other contractors and try to pick out the one they want. If I feel like the client's not for me, I'm not going to want the job.
Yeah, that's I've told guys you get used to saying no more than you're going to say yes,
Yeah. So if I have a bad gut feeling about somebody, I kind of go with it.
and it works.
Don't
And
become desperate. Don't take
Yeah.
the job just because you need the
No,
money.
I don't-
'Cause
I don't-
you will find work
every
if
time you
keep
say
looking.
no, you will eventually get a yes, and it'll be a yes client that you want.
I kind of, I've been pretty lucky. I've been pretty lucky because I think I go with my gut. If I have a bad feeling, well, somebody, it's usually true. I think I've built a brand that, if somebody's calling me, they usually want a good job
Yep.
and they want to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed in that
No,
situation.
that's all the respect to you, man, because you've built a solid brand when in an industry, especially roofing. There's a lot of guys, like you say, fly by night.
You know I'm going to be calling him after the
No,
project.
of course. I know, but the thing is there's way too much room for guys to fucking do it a certain way, to cut corners and make it cheap and then underbid your work. Then they do a shit job, and then all of a sudden 5 years later, you're getting a phone call to fix that job. But even more cases, 2 years later, getting that job.
Yeah.
So
I've had client call me before, like a couple of weeks ago. He says, "Hey, I just kicked my roofer off the job. Can you come fix it?" I said, "No."
no,
I'm
because
I'm
you're not going to
interested.
repair somebody
I'm
else's
not
work.
interested.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. You should. I said you should have called me originally.
Yeah, that's exactly. And they learn their
I mean,
lesson.
I'm sorry. I'm just not interested. Like, I don't want to get involved in your disputes with some cheap guy, fly-by-night guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved.
And that's
in
the
it.
best way to handle it.
If you want a good job, call somebody reputable from the beginning.
I wanted to also.
You want to wrap it up?
I do, but there's one or two things I still want to ask. How much has Instagram, Facebook, media helped you?
Huge,
Huge, massive.
I can't even describe to you what it's done for me.
Changed your whole business.
100%.
And which one out of the few is
Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, and LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten recently back on LinkedIn and
Facebook, I find is good. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Facebook is fine. I feel like it's good for reaching other roofers.
some things. The reason I got onto LinkedIn is just because I think that you can't put all your eggs in one basket. I think you got to feed all those machines. And I think in construction, I think Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are good ones to use. I still believe that Twitter's full of shit. It doesn't apply to construction.
Yeah.
But I think those four, if you keep feeding that machine, then you'll get a nice cross-section of clientele that will actually hire you and look at you and seriously consider you. And if you keep on reaffirming your brand messaging on those, people will respect. Like you said, they will call you for a reason. And then it will just be like, what's your number? And I always tell clients that you should get 4 numbers. 2 should be very close to each other. One's going to be way fucking too low and one's going to be way too fucking high. So you already know where the jokers are and you just deal with the 2.
Yeah.
That's just bare minimum, right?
I always tell people who you feel most comfortable with.
Gut.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
So really
your other
fast, because I
point?
know he wants me. I know he wants to get out of
We're
here.
coming up to an hour and a half.
Is it an hour and a half?
Yes.
What does Mark like to do on his personal time?
Golf.
Golf.
Well,
Lately, it's golf, yeah.
And so for the guys that
And go to the
don't,
gym.
they can't see Mark or don't know Mark, I want you to know that he has the best tattoos you have ever seen. These sleeves are crazy realistic.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So that's all you like to do is golf.
Yeah,
you know what?
I
You never
like to go
struck
to
me
the
as a
gym.
golfer.
Yeah, I like golf.
Well, I know you go to the gym. You're buff. You're making me want to work out. That's probably why Manny's working out.
Manny's getting huge.
I got to
man.
keep up to him,
Manny's
man.
getting
That's
huge,
why.
man.
When are you going to start?
I'm gonna just go to the gun range.
Gun range? What about you? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Fucking staying away from people, man.
Yeah?
That's I like quiet. I like fucking solitary quiet, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. No guns, no golf. So, 2 G's. I fucking hate golf. I don't understand the guys that love golf. I don't get it. I've been invited and I'm bored out of my fucking mind. I just don't like guns. That's just me. I just like bike, but I just put the bike away.
Oh, yeah, the bike, yeah.
I just put the bike away.
So what do you do in the winter?
I go away.
Go away?
I'm
Travel?
planning on
I
going
love
away in
travel.
November. Yeah, I love travel, dude. And the quieter, the better is for me. I was
Yeah, you
recently
need-
in
you
New
need that
York,
sep-
and it was fucking just mayhem in there. But I still loved it, though.
Because different kind of people.
Yeah, but it was just a different. I like that city. That city is built well. I like
There's
that.
adrenaline traveling.
Yeah, that's a
seeing
beautiful
things.
city. Yeah, I just like that. I've been to New York so many fucking times.
I never been.
You never been to New York City? Are you fucking kidding me?
I want to go.
I think he's asking you for an invite.
Go. I actually did. I rode it. I drove,
drove?
right? So it was like, we got there in 7.5 hours, man.
Oh, yeah?
It was easy.
Speeding.
No, perfectly fucking safe, dude. I'm not going to get
I
pulled
heard
over
that
by a station.
Mercedes.
No. This fucking podcast
Wait a
went
second.
all over the place. What? Batman. Wrap it up, Carlito. Wrap it up. There we go. Mark, thanks again for letting us do the podcast here all the time. And thanks again for enlightening us some more on this roofing industry. We learned a few things, didn't you?
Totally.
Fucking
What'd
right.
you guys learn?
I love the whole copper trick.
Slate
Yeah.
Fuck.
I didn't know about.
sucks.
You know what? Knowing what shingle to. I never even would have thought Certainteen. I don't know why.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Hands down.
There we go. There we go. Thank you. That's been another podcast here at the Construction Life, and thank you, Mark. And tune in next week when I don't know what we're doing next week. Some
The
more
416, baby.
T dot.
Skyluxe, baby.
No giggle.
Yeah.